Welcome to UK Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. It's Trevor here with you today. Thanks for joining us. Now I want to start by asking you a question. How is your soul? Now, that's an important thing to assess every now and again. And how's the soul of your business? Just as an important thing to think about. Today, my guest is Jan Goss. Now, she's an expert in corporate soul development, amongst other things. She's the founder of Civility Consulting, which helps senior executives and leaders to not only show up well themselves, but also create profitable, healthy cultures, establishing excellence. We definitely need more of that in the world. She's the author of 3 books, her latest being Bedroom Etiquette, How to Show Up Well Behind Closed Doors. Now, as interesting as that sounds, on this episode, we're going to be focusing more on developing the corporate soul, but some of the things overlap, I'm sure. Here to tell us more and enlighten us, welcome Jan Goss.
Thank you so much, Trevor. What a blessing to be on the British Business Show.
Absolutely. I'm
always feeling so cultured right now.
Absolutely. No, that's good. It's good. We love the Americans. It's always good to have our friends from across the pond join us as well as different parts of the world as well. So we're not biased to any country for everyone listening, but yeah, we speak the same language, which helps, doesn't it?
A lot. Yes, it does.
And also, Jan, we speak the same language with regards to leadership as well. We both help develop leaders.
We do.
So I know it's going to be a great conversation. It's an important topic that we've touched on. Maybe before we dive into all of that, share a little bit about who Jan Goss is and how you've got to where you are on your journey so far.
Well, I like to say that I stumbled into success, but that doesn't go over too well. People want like an ABC, 1, 2, 3. How did you do that? But really, I have to just say, in terms of my success, which I have had what I call, Trevor, success way beyond my doing, like way beyond anything that I could do myself. And in my vocabulary, that sums up as one word, and it's grace. Like you work hard, you do the right thing, you get up and you rinse and repeat. You work hard and you do the right thing. You treat people well, you treat yourself well. And, it's like one day I woke up and I was winning on every level. So I think you just don't quit. You keep moving forward. You keep doing your very best. Keep showing up well in life.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really good. And you started over 4 businesses, haven't you?
It's true. It's true. I'm a late bloomer. So I started my businesses after the age of 40. So for everyone out there who is thinking the thoughts about it's too late for me, I wish I would have started earlier. I didn't get the education, I didn't do this. Focus on what you do have and what your gifts are and what your talents are, because yes, after the age of 40, I started 4 successful businesses, and I'm still going today.
Absolutely, and that's impressive. So you've learned a few things on the way, challenges, the ups and downs.
Yes.
But it also positions you really well in how you're helping executives as well to kind of build the right business, the right culture within the business that sort of keeps everything going. So it'd be really good to sort of dig into the corporate soul development. Mm-hmm. I think it's a really good phrase. In some ways, I think it's self-descriptive, just the way I would interpret it. But how would you, for everybody listening, just in case we're on different pages and how we define that, how, in a nutshell, how would you say you would define corporate soul development?
Yeah, great question. This may be one of the things, Trevor, where it's easier to see what is true if you look at the opposite side. We've all seen beautiful companies. They start out so well and they care about their people, and then maybe they go public or they get a little too big, and it's like they lose their soul, that they just become a machine. And so a company that is just a machine has no soul. There's no soul to it. So when we talk about corporate soul development, we're actually getting down to the soul of the individuals and really remembering that companies are made of people. Without people, we don't have a company.
Yeah.
So it's really honoring the human spirit within each individual and paying attention to that, raising awareness around that.
That's really good. Yeah, absolutely. So in some ways, there's different elements to that. And I think, like, as the leader of the organization, we're responsible for the big decisions, the direction, lots of different elements that affect everybody that turns up in the office or connects from home, whatever the situation is now. So I guess there's different elements of, there's things that I as the leader need to do to help establish that sort of culture, that a good, healthy soul. And then there's everybody within the organization, the team, whatever size of the company is, they have a contribution to make as well, don't they?
Yes.
And for me, it's like leaders lead by example, don't they? And I suppose in some ways, how do you help people listening, myself included, just identify areas where we can reassess the current health of our sort of organizations, our businesses, or even our teams? If we're a small unit, if it's sole trader, one or two extra people that are helping out now and again, whatever the business looks like, what are some of the practical things, the human parts that we need to look at?
Yeah, good question. First of all, you're so smart. Yes, that's where it starts, from the top down. It's the leadership. Like, people need what you bring to this world, Trevor, and what I bring to this world, because so go the leaders, so goes the business. So go the leaders, so goes your home or your country or your city, or it's about leadership. And my hope, my prayer is that if we can get to the leaders, then it will have this trickle down effect. You know, I learned the hard way about trying to go into a company and maybe work with the sales team or work with HR, you know, and work with these different departments. And then you have the C-suite, you have the upper level management, and they're a mess. And it's like trying to roll a steel ball uphill. You know, it just does not work. So yes, we're talking about leadership. We're talking about from the top down. And it's really about awareness, first of all. If we're not aware of something, how can we address it? So it's really about raising the water table, raising the awareness level. And how we do that, Trevor, it's so simple. It's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. There's such a disconnect between what leadership feels like is happening in companies and what's actually happening in companies. Yeah. And the dynamic that gets set up is those who are experiencing angst or maybe some soul trouble, if you will, in the company, they're afraid to say what's really going on because they know it could cost them their job, or they know it could cost them favor, you know, with their superiors. They know that, you know, it might make one of their superiors look bad. And so things just never get said.
Yeah.
And if, as a consultant, when I come into a company, most of the time, the idea of what's going on in the company from the top leadership and the reality of what's going on in the company from the workers are 2 completely different stories.
Yeah.
So in soul development, we actually begin to connect. And how we do that is through listening, by creating mastermind groups, by appointing people from different teams, from different segments of the company to come together and have conversations. It's really simple.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's profound in lots of ways, and yet we still struggle with it. I think, like, I've been in a company before where I wasn't leading it, but we had the staff survey because there was unrest. You want to kind of find out what's going on. You want people to be able to sort of say what's really going on. It was anonymous and all the rest of it, but it failed for several different reasons. The culture, there wasn't an accepting culture from that perspective, like you say, where people can speak freely, even though it was anonymous. And then there was the, well, they're not going to do anything with it anyway if I tell them attitude. So, like, in some ways, the connection side of it, it's the challenge, isn't it? Connection works well in the boardroom, outside, same in the bedroom as well.
Yes.
In your book, but just in general life, isn't it? We either connect with people and interact well, or we don't. And it's an ongoing challenge. But maybe for people listening, thinking, I know it's a mess. I think we're doing really well, but people aren't really motivated the same as I think they should, or I know that I'm not handling stuff the way I should. I'm hiding in an office. I'm letting somebody else kind of get on with it. Things aren't working. I want to start the connection. You mentioned listening, which is such a key thing. You're right. What would be some of the first steps that people can take to start that process?
Such a good question.
It can be a long path, but how do they start to get momentum?
Yes, and we have to begin somewhere. So that's such a great question. At Civility Consulting, we teach what we call first impression management. And it's really focusing in on the first 5 seconds of every interaction, like every person you cross pathways with during the day. So for an example, one of my clients runs a large SaaS company out of Washington, D.C. And she could not figure out where the disconnect was. She's a very kind, loving human being. She's very brilliant. She's running a multi-million-dollar company. She really cares about her employees. And yet, when as outside eyes and ears, when I came in, you should have heard what her staff thought about her. It was not a pretty picture. And so she was very confused because the messaging wasn't getting across. Trevor, we found the most simple solution, and it had to do with first impression management. Focus in on the first 5 seconds of every meeting with every person. So here was this scenario. She's running a machine. She is running a business. So someone would walk into her office and they would come in. She'd say, okay, today we have blah, 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 blah. And I need for you to do la, 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 and give me the report on this. And she just went in and hit it hard because they had work to do. She had a business to run. All we did was change the first 5 seconds. We shifted her behavior as the leader to make eye contact first, put a smile on her face. How simple are these protocols? Put a smile on her face, eye contact, smile. Say, hello, good morning, please have a seat. Invite them in and then say what she wanted. Can I tell you, she will be my witness. Her whole company turned around when she, as a leader, changed her first 5 seconds of every interaction. Wow. It's that simple, but we have to learn and we have to do it.
Yeah. And it's developing the habit of, rather than just, Jan said I need to do this, I'll do that. Right, I've done that. And then go back to your old ways. It's like, no, it's developing that principle, isn't it? Within the culture, like you say, getting it going throughout the whole culture. Because if you're C-suite and you're talking to managers and you respond well like that, you're then showing the right example for the managers to then talk to whoever they're looking after as well. It's the ripple down effect, isn't it?
This is the rocket science that we're talking about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? It's not really rocket science.
Then they're not secrets, and yet they're hidden a lot of the time, aren't they? Amongst all the busyness, the targets, and everything else that needs to happen within a business, it's almost like, well, I know they're the fundamentals, but let's leave those for the moment and focus on this, that, and the other, because the fundamentals are kind of there somewhere, and it's all right. It's like you have to keep Revising,
brush up,
reviewing. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, keep
Yeah.
them polished up. Yes, one of the main principles that we teach is what we call others orientation. Again, this is so simple, but it's when you come into contact with another human being. Some of you need to think about this with your husband, with your wife, with your significant other. When you first come into contact with them, think about it. Do you think they're thinking about you or them? When someone walks in your office, they have something in their mind, something is on their mind. When you walk in somewhere, you have something on your mind.
Yeah.
And if we can take a moment and shift that and say, I wonder what's on their mind, instead of wanting to get our point across or wanting to say what we have to say, I think I just like could help the divorce rate go way down on that one.
Absolutely.
You know, and make a much more pleasant work environment, much more productive work environment. If we would just take a moment to be aware of the other person's state of mind. Maybe they have something going on at home. Listen, it's been a tough couple of years for all of us, you know, senior leaders included, like for all of us. And just to be aware, we don't know what people are going through. You don't know what phone call I got this morning.
Yeah.
We walk into situations and we don't know. So just to take that breather, that moment, and be others oriented. Wonder what Trevor's going through today. Maybe even take a moment and check in. You know, Trevor, is everything okay with you? And then you can go on to business.
Yeah.
Just takes a moment.
Yeah. And
It puts the heart back in.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was sort of thinking it's the sincere question, isn't it? And the motive behind asking it. Because people know, don't they? Whether you're actually sincerely inquiring about how they are, or whether it's just, I know I need to do this. This is what we're doing now. This is the culture. It's like, no, it's got to be real, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's really good. I like it as well because what you're saying, whoever they are within the business, even the newest recruit, the most junior person, if that's the right term to use, are probably not. They're looking at the executives thinking, well, they get paid loads of money. That's their job. Whatever the excuses they make. And they don't understand the pressures that come along with the responsibility of leading and navigating the organization, all of the things that are coming against them and the competition and everything else. So it really is, like you're saying, embrace the perspective of, actually, I'm sure my boss is under a huge amount of pressure.
Yes.
How can I somehow contribute to making things easier? I think that's such a key point for everyone to take on board. Listening, whether you're running the show, whether you're part of the team, just be aware of other people.
Yes,
they're going through. I really like what you said as well.
I think you're putting some soul back in. You're getting a little soul in the business here, Trevor.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's reminding me of something more recently I've been conscious about doing myself. First thing in the morning, like, what's my first thought? And what's the first contact, the first interaction I have with anybody, whoever it is?
Yes.
I think that's huge. If you get that right, it helps to get first person you talk to once you go in the building, if you're on a site or office or whatever.
You're preaching my sermon, Trevor. This is my sermon.
It's really good.
We teach to bookend your day with gratitude. It's like two bookends.
Yeah.
You begin with gratitude, and very first conscious thoughts in the morning. Wow, I woke up breathing. That's a good sign. It's a good sign it's going to be a good day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I can get up out of bed. I have health. I have life. I have breath. And then before you go to bed at night, to go, wow, I made it through another day. Yeah. And I really did take care of a lot of things today. And just to bookend our day with gratitude, then what happens in between is going to be okay. Just begin with gratitude and end with gratitude. And can you imagine you get a whole team doing that? This is personal development. Yeah. It's developing of the soul, of the inward self.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's as key to business success and profitability as any other metric or element within the company.
The real word success, yes. Yeah. A lot of people can make money without doing those things, but they're miserable. And so that's not success.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really good. I knew I was going to enjoy it. So just some of the other elements where you help people show up well. So you've touched on the fact that we all have blind spots. Within the
Yes.
company, as the leader, we might think everything is actually going really well because we're hitting this,
Yes.
this, and this, but the culture's actually fallen apart. So you can sort of come in as an external point of view to help with that aspect, to kind of be
Exactly.
independent so that you can see both sides and be honest from both perspectives. And I think one of the benefits that you have as a consultant and kind of an executive coach as well is the fact that you can go in and you talk to executives at their level, but also you can be blunt because you're the outsider kind of coming in. Even though they're paying you, it's like you can be straightforward with them, whereas somebody that's not as senior, as you say, would find it difficult, or I might lose my job if I speak up.
Right.
So it makes a lot of sense to get external help from people that understand, but also
Yes.
are outside of the culture and can have a fresh pair of eyes. I think, which is really good.
It's critical for success.
Absolutely.
And for a happy environment. Happy people are more productive.
Yeah.
Everything affects the ROI of the company. That affects your financial bottom line when you have teams. Can you imagine if everyone was others oriented and they really watched out for the other person?
Yeah.
It's a culture shift. Putting the heart back into business, putting the soul back into business.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other areas where you're very strong is the confidence strategy. And I'm guessing a lot of getting the fundamentals of who we are and how we treat people is a good foundation for that. But elaborate a little bit more about how can we, as leaders, as individuals within a team, how can we build the right sort of confidence in ourselves
That's
and then
good.
as we show up to other people?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the more that I delve into confidence, and we do confidence camps, we do confidence challenges. I've had confidence training for the past 20 years. And confidence isn't what I thought it was, honestly. There's a huge difference between what we call maybe fake it until you make it. That's not really confidence. It has its place, but it's not really confidence. And then there's another train of thought that confidence comes from really pumping people up and going, Trevor, you're such a great guy, you're so handsome and smart, and all of these things. And that makes people feel good, but it's not really a confidence builder. And even, I'm just going to put this little plug in terms of parenting, because we have a whole generation who's been taught, you're so special, you're so wonderful, you're a better artist than everybody in your classroom. And then they grow up and find out I'm terrible at art, or, oh, you sing so well. No, they're terrible. No, that's not their gift. And instead of really zeroing in and building on our strengths, this sort of blanket of rah is not confidence. And that's why I'm seeing so many young professionals fall on their face. Yeah. Because they really think they're all that. And then they get out in what we call the real world and fall. And it's because they don't have any confidence, because everything's been handed to them, given to them. That does not build confidence. Parents, that does not build confidence. So if you think about it, Trevor, and for the audience, just think about a time in your life when you did the impossible, because I know you have. Listen, if we made it through to 2022, I guarantee you have done something that was impossible. It was impossible. You have made it through impossible odds. So think about it in your own life. Get it in your head. What's something that you did it and it was impossible?
Yeah.
That's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from stretching yourself and doing what you thought was impossible. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I really did it. I hit that number, or I hit that goal, or I put out the effort, the energy. Someone doesn't give you confidence. Yeah. Confidence comes from within. It's an inside job, and it comes from doing the impossible. Trevor, I've made it through things in life that I thought I could never make it through deaths, through divorce, through devastation. I thought it was going to kill me. I thought it was going to kill me, but guess what? It didn't. And what it does when I look back is it gives me confidence. I can make it through anything. I can. How do I know? Because I've made it through the impossible.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really like that. It's like a lot of the things that are now normal to us, at once we looked on as, I can't do that.
Impossible.
Everybody else is good at that, but not me. Or, it's outside of my skill set, my competencies, whatever. It's really good. I think, and that's like, I think resilience plays such a key part in that as well.
Agreed.
The proper sort of resilience, and that is only really built through stretching yourself, through challenges, through stuff that we wouldn't plan, but we have to navigate anyway, isn't it?
It's why we have to remind each other, you can do this. Don't do it for them. You can do this.
Yeah.
Well, I can. I don't. Well, if you did know, what would it be? Like, help people learn to use their brains and trust in themselves and tap into what's already inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it builds confidence.
Absolutely. I think that's the one of the strongest points of coaching, isn't it? Because you're not telling people the answers and this is how you should do it. It's like you're helping them find the gold within, the stuff that they maybe don't believe is actually possible, but it's stuff from within. That's such a key thing. So, yeah.
I think we're kind of gold diggers. You know, that's what I've been called, a gold digger. It's a terrible name.
In a nice way.
I dig gold. I dig gold out of people. I don't go dig for your gold. I'm not out after your money, but it's a gold. Let's call it a gold mine. We mine the gold.
Yeah.
We don't dig. We're not gold diggers. But that's really what it's about, is helping people see the beauty, the value within themselves. Yeah. And we all bring something so unique to the table.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, it's not the comparison, is it? That, well, I'm not like them.
Comparison is a killer.
Yeah, I don't have value because I can't do this. It's like, no, there's value inside of you for who you are. We only need one of you.
just be your thumbprint. That's what I tell my clients. You be your thumbprint. Don't try to be mine, because yours looks different.
Absolutely. And even within like twins and triplets, just to really cover the base fully, there's lots of similarities, but they're all individuals. They're different, aren't they? They have a different way of expressing or showing gifts, beauty, and all the rest of it. So yeah, wherever you are on that scale of comparison with other people, just don't do it. Don't do it. Only if it draws you to grow better. That's what I would say. Other than that, don't, because you don't know what they've been through, and you don't know if they're currently faking it till they make it.
Exactly.
And your comparison could be thwarted that way. So just work on yourself, isn't it? And that's what you help kind of business owners do. Work on yourself and then establish the right sort of cultures, because it's coming from an authentic place of who you are, rather than just this is what you're supposed to do. It's really good. Really good.
On that comparison thing, Trevor.
Yeah.
I'm going to hop in with this, because this is so funny when I think about it. And we all do it, like guilty, both hands in the air. Like, I've done it. You've done it. I'm about to call you out, Trevor. I'm about to call everybody out, because what we do with comparison, we compare our middle to someone else's end. Or we compare our beginning to someone else's end. And they all started somewhere. None of us know what we're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Do not let them fool you. Like, we all had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I think when we compare, we're looking at, wow, I'm only here and they're way up there. Well, guess what? You're not where you used to be. You might not be where you want to be yet, but you're not where you used to be.
Absolutely.
And this is part confidence builder, is part of building up your soul, is to take a moment and recognize how far you've come. You're not where you were this time last year. 2 years ago, we were all in a mess. Like, give ourselves some credit, and give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the time scale for everyone's individual as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You work where you are. I think as long as I think the responsibility that we have a lot more is checking in, like you say, am I growing? How is my soul? What are the areas that I'm struggling in? And am I actually trying to sort them out, or am I just procrastinating? Am I just distracting myself with the other things that aren't going to help long term?
Which we do.
Yeah.
It's why they need a Trevor in their life. It's why they need a Jan in their life.
Absolutely.
Because we all need accountability.
Yeah.
All of us do.
Yeah.
My clients will say, I didn't get this done until midnight last night because I knew I had to have it to you by 8 a.m. And I went, okay, well, guess what? If you didn't have me in your life, it would have gone another week and another week. And I don't care. Do it at midnight. At least you did it because you knew you were going to have to be accountable to me. So it's that building in accountability. And that's in the marketplace. It's in the workplace as well, to have that sort of accountability where we hold each other up to the high standard.
Yeah.
And
it is for the leaders to think, actually, I am accountable to how healthy the culture, the team is.
100%.
It's not just, the manager's, the supervisor's responsibility. It's like, no, people do what they see, don't they, a lot of the time?
The buck stops at the top. And that's why I'm talking to senior level management now. It is time for all of us, myself included. I'm a senior level. So myself included, I have to live what I preach. I have an accountability call every single week of my life. Do you? That's what I want to ask senior leaders. Who are you accountable to? How did you think you woke up and you were God this morning and you don't have to be accountable to anybody? Oh, no, we all need accountability in our life because we all have what Trevor referred to as blind spots. You do, I do. We all have blind spots. And it just helps us be better human beings.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Definitely. Yeah. So just kind of as we wrap this up, time goes so fast. I want to start chatting about this, but it's all good stuff. Just share briefly, you've mentioned you do masterminds, you do coaching as well, and you've got some programs. Tell us a little bit about programs you do to help people.
Wow. Well, what I've done, the longer my business has gone on, the more narrow it's become. So we are focused in on this corporate soul development, but in relationship to what you brought up, confidence. If we can build confidence, then that takes care of a lot of things. We have first impression management, because if you learn what to do in that first 5 seconds, you've won. You've already won. And then a very interesting thing happened in my life about 3 years ago, where I tapped into something that I found out I'm really good at, that I had no idea that I was good at. And it's around the energy of money. So I was working with entrepreneurs, just so in a nutshell, just so you know, most of my adult life, I have had a very rocky relationship with money. Most of my adult life. I don't now. I have a great relationship with money now. But I didn't realize that money really is an energy. It is, we have thoughts and feelings and emotions and attitudes around money. So if you think of, when I say the word money, does fear, oh, I hope I have enough. Oh, well, I've made a lot, but now am I going to lose it? What's the economy going to do? Like, do you have fear around money? Do you have gratitude around money? What are your personal energies around your money? So I began to tap into that. And what I found is that people are crazy interested in it. So I have been actually doing what we call VIP days, where I only work with 12 at a time, but it's intense. But we've been doing these VIP days on the energy of money and really looking at your relationship with money. Trevor, the breakthroughs that have happened in people's lives are insane. It's incredible what has happened. So that's another part of soul development. It's developing from the inside out, but really honing in on money, because I have great compassion in that area. I was good at making money. I am good at making money still. But even when I was broke all the time. I wasn't poor. There's a difference. Yeah. But I was broke. I was living from, I mean, as a single mom, first of all, I hit the 6-figure income, right? Well, then I thought, well, why can't I make 6 figures in a month? If you can do it in a year, why can't you do it in a month? I hit 93,000 a month. Well, that's not bad for a single mama.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I was good at churning out. I was good at making the money. Why was I always broke? Because of my relationship with it. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. That is not the issue. Money issues are never about money. Look at me, I'm preaching. It's not even Sunday, y'all, and I am preaching from Texas. That's why I say y'all. It's never about the money, ever. It's about something inside. It's your energy around your money, your attitudes, your emotions, your thoughts.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole new genre, if you will, that's opened up in the last 3 years for me, where I spoke at different conventions, and then I did some small groups, and then I'm like, hey, this is fun. I like working with small groups.
Yeah.
And that. So you punched my button, Trevor.
No, it's really good, because it does translate. If you've not got the right perspective and sort of emotions towards money, personally or professionally, it's going to have a knock-on effect. Everything you touch, really, isn't it? There's not much that happens on the planet that doesn't involve interaction of money one way or another. So yeah, it's a key element to get.
It's good. It's juicy. That's a juicy one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and particularly for business leaders, one of the reasons why they're in business is to make money.
Yeah.
Chances are. So you want to be in the right frame of mind to be able to scale it up, make more money, and feel the right feelings about it, rather than the fear and everything else that's associated with it. That's really good. Really good stuff. We're coming to the end of our time together today, unfortunately, but best place for people to touch base, find out about the coaching side of it, to find out about sort of cultural development and things like that, and the money energy side of things, head to the website.
Yes, you can go to civilityconsulting.com. There's a lot of CIVILITY, and it's consulting with an ing.com, civilityconsulting.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. My inbox is always open for questions, to connect. If I can support business, is especially small business, kind of that 200 million under, like, that's my sweet spot. I love working with small businesses and just helping them stay intact.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really good. Yeah, we'll put a link below so people can bounce through from the podcast as well. But yeah, definitely for everybody listening, find out how Jan can help you. And just as we've been talking for just these few moments together, stop and think, how is my soul doing when it comes to the money aspect, when it comes to connecting with people? How's that affecting the business, the company that I'm a part of? How's that affecting my family as well? Different elements that it still has that effect. We've not really touched on it much here, but it touches every part, doesn't it? Everything that Jan shared is very wise. She's learned a lot, she's gone through a lot, and she's seen evidence where she can help multiple people through her clients as well. Much success she's received through that. So thanks, Jan, for sharing your time with us today, and just
my pleasure, Trevor,
shedding your light on our development of our souls. I think it's such a key thing. Lots of things you touched on people can take away and start thinking about and start doing. And touch base with Jan, find out how she can help you, have a conversation. Maybe that's the first step on your journey to making changes. Definitely take action, do something. If it just becomes another podcast, it's not going to serve you well. You want more than just information. You want to take action so that you can make the right sort of changes, and then we develop and we grow, and then we feel better about ourselves. The confidence increases, as Jan said. So yeah, lots of different ways she can help us. So it's really good. Thanks again, Jan. Appreciate your time. We'll wrap it up there. Great if you can come back again at some point. Love to chat to you some more.
I would be honored to. I think we have a lot more to talk about, Trevor.
We do, yes.
I want to interview you too, because you got a lot of stuff going on inside.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's one of my favorite subjects. I think partly because we share that passion that we're trying to help people. I think that's the key thing. It's not just about us. It's about trying to help other people, because we've been somewhere People have helped us get to where we are.
Yes.
We pass it on, don't we? That's what it's all about. Yes, so watch this space. Jan will come back at some point, no doubt. Really good. But for now, head to her website, catch her book, see how she can help you. And we will catch you all on the next episode. So bye for now.
Sounds great. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to UKI Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.ukibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.